Hey guys, it's Troy here, and it's been a little bit since I did a pen video here. I had a lot going on in our personal lives here. Some of you may know that I'm running for town council here in my little town where I live in North Carolina. And that's actually taken up a lot of my time, and I've been producing videos for a YouTube channel for that campaign rather than focusing everything here on the pen channel. But there's some pretty cool things that are coming up. For instance, I've been asked to go speak on fountain pens to an authors group here next month in my little area. Somebody I met through actually while working through the campaign. So there's that. And my son Matthew, who many of you have met here on this YouTube platform on my channel, he had some minor surgery, so that took up a little bit of time, and just life in general. So it's been pretty hectic around here with all of that going on. So sorry, but at least I'm here to show you a new pen, and fairly new to me, and some others. So if you follow my channel for any length of time, you know that there's a couple of things I like. Number one, I like a good bargain, and I found one. You also know that I like Waterman pens, both vintage and modern. I've got a vintage sitting on my desk that's here at all times. I've got a bunch here. I've got some good modern pens by Waterman as well. And this is one of those that I hadn't really run across much, but Waterman has done a lot of joint ventures with Harley Davidson, or at least used the Harley Davidson name in licensing in order to sell some pens. I've got several here actually in my collection, and I've showed them both, at least two of them here to you. I know I've done 2 videos, that's why I say both. And I'm going to show you a third Harley Davidson inspired pen by Waterman. This happens to be the Waterman Harley Davidson Combustion. This is a pen that came out, I believe, in the 1990s up through 2000 or so. I haven't found any really good facts or data on it so far. So all the sites that I've looked at that I normally would go to, and some of the research that I've done, hasn't really showed me anything definitive as to a production run on it. But it came in a box like this, and I got to be honest with you, the company that I bought it from didn't package it very well, so this box got a little smushed. But I did happen to find a really good deal, and you can see here, there it says that it is a Waterman, and it does say Harley Davidson on it, that it's a medium nib, it's color blue, but it doesn't tell you that it's the combustion model, which is what it is, at least from everything that I've read. All right, so you open this up, and it comes in a plastic case like that. Now, what's really cool, see, one of the pens I showed you had like a Waterman pen case that was shaped like a Harley Davidson gas tank. This is shaped like a Harley headlight. I thought that was pretty cool. So the presentation box is literally a round plastic headlight. So let's go ahead and open it up, and you can see right there you got the Harley Davidson logo that says Waterman right there, and that's the cover to it. And this is what you get when you open it up. So you've got this velour covered plastic for the inset, and this is just a hard plastic shell. There's nothing underneath. But you've got the Harley logo there, and it does have this, it is numbered, all right? So this particular one is numbered 12,233. So that comes on there. It's got a little Harley booklet, Waterman manual Harley Davidson logoed booklet that comes with it, and it did come with a cartridge, a Waterman cartridge. So when you pull it out, that's what you got. Now, it's really cool. I mean, it's got a Harley logo on there. I'll give you some really good close-ups, but normally I would just have the camera pointed down, and you wouldn't be seeing my ugly mug for most of this, but I already had the camera set up this way because I was just recording another video for my campaign. So you look at it, it's actually pretty cool. This clip, I really like this clip on this particular one. As a matter of fact, this pen is inspired by a 1936 Harley Davidson EL36. So I thought the 36 meant 1936, but it's an EL36. And on the front The fork for the front wheel is like this with a spring for its suspension. That's what you got there on the top. And it's actually a pretty neat clip. It's actually one of the more serviceable and springy clips that I've seen. So, and then you've got that shape on that pen, like that for the cap. It is a slip cap. You open it up and you can see that it is an all metal cap. And here's what you've got for a section. It is totally ribbed on this section. So if you don't like metal sections, if you don't like, ribs on a section, you're probably not going to like it. But it does have a pretty good nib on it. I'll give you a better close-up of that. And like I said, I wanted a medium nib. And you look at the bottom, you got the same kind of material here that you do, that you would have right there on that section. On that section, it does flare out just a little bit before you get to the little black end where you would have that feed in that nib sit in. So it is a cartridge converter pen, and it did come with a converter. So I went ahead and took that. And I had just a little bit of blue ink left from Thornton's Luxury brand of inks, and it had some blue, so I went ahead and took the very last of that Thornton's blue, and I put it into this pen because it's got, it is kind of a blue. It's kind of like a metal blue. One of the cool things about Waterman, what I like how they think things out. If you want to go post it, you put it in and you hear that? It snaps in. So that is not coming off. It's going to post good, deep, and secure. That's one of the things I do like about modern Watermans. When they think that out, it does snap into place and it's not going to come off on you. So there you go. How does it write though? Well, I can tell you that Matthew picked it up when he came into my office earlier today, for that matter. And I've been writing with it for a little over a week or so. But I'll give you my opinion on it here momentarily after I give you some statistics on this particular pen. So here I am with the Waterman Combustion, and on the back it does say Waterman here in Paris, and that is kind of a neat curve. You've got the Harley logo here, and it says Harley Davidson right there. I actually like the curve in the shape of that particular cap. But how does this pen stack up to some other pens in terms of size? Let's just go ahead and do a quick size comparison. For those of you who are into modern Watermans, this was one of the really first big pen purchases that I made. That was over $100, and that is the Waterman Karen. I'm a big fan of the Karen. I like it. So size-wise, here's how that stacks up against the Karen. Let's go pull an El Cheapo, like a $15, $20 Diplomat Magnum. So since that's fairly a popular pen for a lot of folks. Pelikan M400, and of course the ever popular and has to be in every single size comparison video, Pilot Metropolitan. So I'm still waiting to see the statute of the requirement that you have to use a Pilot Metropolitan, but everybody has one, so it makes it really easy to use. How much did I pay for this particular pen in comparison to some of these lower end pens? You know what? I don't know what the going rate was for this particular pen when they were first introduced. My guess is somewhere $50-$60. I don't know. I can tell you the reason, the main reason I bought this pen, I found it on eBay, new old stock, for like $12 shipped. Matter of fact, I think I took a screenshot of the eBay listing, but it was like $12. I can't remember if I paid shipping on top of it or not, but here you are. Here's a screenshot. $12 or so is what I paid for this particular pen. I said for $12 on a modern Waterman, All metal, absolutely. Harley Davidson edition, pff, sold. Didn't have to ask twice. All right, so this particular pen, do I like to post it? I told you that I like how they post, but do I like it posted? It backweights that pen significantly because that's a lot of weight right here, up here at the clip and at the finial. This whole area actually backweights that. So nope, I don't particularly care for it. So I'm going to set it off on the side over here. Now I'm going to tell you something about this particular pen when I first wrote with it. Good and bad. Number one, good, it's smooth. So let's Waterman. And this is a Harley Davidson. This is the Combustion model. Like I said, precious little information on this, and I've been looking. So it's got a nice steel nib to it. And I can tell you right now, this steel nib writes better now than it did when I first got it. I took a little bit of micro mesh to it because what it was doing, and I read actually somebody else had written that they were having a little bit of a problem on Fountain Pen Network, is when you would be doing this, for them, the upstroke, like this, was skipping or was extremely light. And you know what? It was for me too. And so I had already worked on the nib, and I had worked out that problem where it was giving me a light or a skip as it was going up when you did that. All right, so on that upsweep, it would really skip quite a bit, or just go very light, and so light it just barely left a trail there. I said, well, I don't like that. So I just worked on this nib just a little bit. I looked at it, tine alignment looked good. So I said, let me just shape that just a little bit, see if it, and you know what? Tremendous difference. So just a few seconds with micro mesh. And I know not everybody can do that. Not everybody's cut out to work on that. But if you're going to be a collector, if you're going to be a hobbyist, invest in the $4 to get yourself a micro mesh stick. Because it's going to save yourself a lot of frustration in the end. And I went through a lot of frustration over the years, or a couple of years of not knowing how to do that. All right? So, this is a medium nib. And right now it's smooth. And it has been reliable every time I've taken it out and used it after I went ahead and did that wee little bit. You're not going to get any real line variation out of it, and I don't expect to. It's a fairly rigid nib. But I will say, every single time since I did that tiny little adjustment to the nib, and it didn't take long, folks. I mean, I'm talking, 10 to 30 seconds, boom, done, and it was writing like a champ. Suddenly, it was doing tremendously well. This particular ink is a Thornton's Luxury, and it was their blue. It's a nice deep blue, and it almost reminds me a little bit of Waterman's Serenity Blue. And I've been through an entire bottle of this stuff that I used just the very last of it to do this particular fill, put it in an ink miser and sucked up what I could and just had a few drops left over. So, okay, time to chuck the bottle. So, I got my good use out of Thornton's. I haven't had any problems with Thornton's. I put it through most every kind of pen that I've got, and it's done very, very well. So, and they're fairly inexpensive. So if you run across that on a whim, pick yourself up a bottle of that Thornton's Luxury Blue, or Thornton's Luxury Blue. So Thornton's Luxury, blue. It's actually not a bad ink. So in this particular pen, I'm happy with it. Yet another chalk up, yet another one in victory, or a plus for me, that I got a decent pen. Like I said, I did have to take some time with it to get it to where I was happy with it, but I've been doing this as an everyday carry for about a week. Been very happy with it once I got it to my liking. So Waterman had some great pens in the 1990s up through 2000. And they still do produce some really good ones. I'll be honest with you, I would love to go to work for a company like Waterman and be able to bring them back to some of their former glory, because I don't think that they've really been focused like they should be, especially on the upswing in the fountain pen market. They could be doing a whole lot better, but I do love some vintage and some modern Waterman. So if you can find a Waterman Harley Davidson Combustion model, it's worth consideration. And like I said, I don't know what everybody else is selling them for, and the only seller I've ever seen it be selling them was selling it for $12, and I've got like the very last one that they had. Yay for me.